Hey, welcome to our show, guys. Guess what? We've got a unique show here today. It's about my favorite sport.
What would that be, Goose?
That would be this baby right here. It's called stickball.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about baseball. In fact, we've got some of the early elite down here today that's still living with us. Some of the great people that got Spanish Fork baseball going. And I was thinking this morning, you know baseball's mentioned in the Bible, Bryce?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in Genesis it says in the beginning.
Oh my.
In the beginning.
Sorry,
See?
folks.
Yeah, Rod was thinking, baseball, Bible? Heck yeah. Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to be sitting right here amongst these great people. It really is, isn't it, Rob?
Truly, I feel truly blessed.
In fact, we got enough information here today. We're going to shoot enough footage to do 2 shows, a part 1 and a part 2. And anybody that's a baseball fan, I know you're going to love these 2 shows. Okay, Rod, what's one of your earliest memories of being down here?
Well, I can remember even when Rulon Thomas was the recreation director.
And what was his nickname?
Rat.
And why was that?
His initials were Rulon A. Thomas.
Rat. Did you guys know that?
Yes.
You do now?
Yes, we
But I
knew
can
that.
remember we used to call that field over there the big field. This field, this Kiwanis field, wasn't even here. And
So the first field built in town was what, Jack?
Well, the first ball field in town was up on the East Bench, where the park school is.
Oh, is that where King Kong Kelly pitched?
Right.
Yep.
Oh.
And then later on, they sold that property for the school, and they moved down here to build a park.
And so the first park that was built here was
the big one.
The big park.
the big park.
Right.
Called it the Big Diamond.
Oh, the Big Diamond. All right. Leon, what's your earliest memory of being down here?
Well, the earliest was coming down and watching Jack play over there on the big field.
Oh, that brings me.
And I still don't know why he didn't bat about 500 and bat right-handed, but he batted left and batted 300.
And that was the old Central Utah League, right,
Yeah,
Jerry?
that was the
Right.
And how long did that last in town?
Oh, years and years before they started kind of professional and then it went out. But there was years. We used to go to Tooele, Sandy Quinn, Payson. We played a lot of ball.
And you were, what position did you play?
I played second base.
Second base? Sherm,
Sir,
are you familiar with that Central Utah League?
I know they had a great program and a lot of history, and that was the beginning of all this program for baseball in Spanish Fork. We just have to remember that.
Okay. Lynn, you know what, Bryce? This gal right here is the only woman coach of a boys-based baseball team that we've ever had in town. Is that right?
I think so.
And why is that, do you think?
They didn't have enough guts to get out there with the men, I guess.
And how many years did you coach down
27 years.
here? 27 big ones. And I heard you coach more than one team.
Yeah, I coached 2 boys teams, helped with the pony team, coached the men's team, coached some girls teams. I loved the ballpark.
Wow.
And she started as an assistant on the Cubs team with me years ago.
Is that right?
Actually started 3 years before that
Well,
with
you just got
Pig.
confused and didn't know where you belonged.
Oh, okay. I did. I was there
I
with
didn't
Cubs.
know that. Let's go down to Bob Hunter down there, one of my good buddies. Bob, how many years did you spend umpiring down here?
Probably 40 years.
40 years? And how many years
Yeah.
did you coach?
Oh, I can't even remember.
Goose, may I ask a question?
Well, go ahead.
As an umpire, did anybody with this town, did anybody throw anything at you or whatnot?
Oh, yeah.
Elise words.
The Spanish Fork takes baseball quite seriously.
That's right, Bryce. Bryce, in fact, I had a person move in a couple of years ago and they said, hey, we heard that if you're not a baseball player in this town, you're nothing. And I says, well, Pretty much. And they says, well, we're going to go sign up today then. What do you guys think about that, Paul? The reputation that Spanish has.
Well, we deserved it because of all the volunteerism we have in Spanish Fork. And that's the reason it went as good as it did, is because we got great people in this town who wanted it to succeed. And the volunteer guys came down and gave their time and their efforts and taught the kids how to play ball, have respect for the ball, for people, and then kept the kids off the streets from getting in trouble.
And messing with drugs?
Yeah, well, there wasn't much drugs back then that I know of.
Okay.
Still an excellent point, though.
So how many years did you run the snack shack?
Well, I started when it was Spanish Fork Junior Athletics. And then I went to the city because of some insurance problems that we couldn't make enough money to cover our insurance. And so I went to 1998 running the snack shack.
I remember that old snack shack over there, Dan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I'll say.
It was right over there next to the main bleachers, right?
Yep.
And it had a little announcing booth in the top.
Matter of fact, I played my first manager job on the field west of it.
And that was is that the
Braves.
JC?
That was the Braves.
That's the Braves. And how many years did you coach the Braves?
Oh, man. Enough they run me out of town.
Who, did Jack run you out?
Yeah, he was one of them.
Okay, let's go back here, Bryce, and my good buddy Jerry Christensen. He was an assistant coach when I played for Harry Kutchell, Larson Wild.
1957.
Oh, 1957. They coached the team called the Seas. And what do you think of that, Jer?
Well, I remember when we went to the meeting and everybody said, you're too young, you can't coach. And Harry said, well, I gotta have him. He knows more than I do about baseball. Harry was a super guy. He wanted to promote baseball, but he didn't really know a lot. So Larson Wild came in and says, I'll be the assistant, just let Jerry help coach. And he says, well, I'll do that if we can name them the Seas. And they said, okay.
Oh, and I love it.
What an interesting story that was.
That's right. It is. It's an honor to be down here today. And I think we'll take our first break right here, Bryce. Go get some good food. None of the chips, no soda pop.
I'm thinking peanuts and crackers.
We'll be right back.
What you got there, Goose?
Hey, take a look at this, Bryce. My wife bought this for me a couple of years ago. She knows I love baseball. It's just a book of old-time players. Jerry, who's one of your old-time favorite players?
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Well, because he was a good hitter and a good ball player.
And what about his morals?
Well, I guess they were good. Who knows what's going on?
Okay, but Mantle's your favorite player. Okay.
How about you, Goose? Who would you say is your favorite player of all time?
One of my favorite players?
Don't ever ask you questions. I thought I would.
Yeah, I like Duke Snyder.
And why?
They called him the gray fox, the silver fox.
Uh-huh.
Because he kind of had premature gray hair, but the guy could flat out play. He played for the Dodgers.
Oh.
Played center field. Yeah, Duke Snyder.
Now I'm going to try to give you mine. I'm hoping I get it right because I don't know much about baseball. But it was Rod Lefevre, is it? With the Dodgers? Lefevre or Lefevre? Only because he was left-handed at the time I was left-handed when I was a little kid.
Oh, Jim Lefevre.
Okay. Well, that's close.
Jim Lefevre. Yep. Okay. What's one of your earliest memories that takes you back and you got real good feelings when you reminisce?
Oh, it's just sitting back and remembering the old days when, like I say, I come back from out of the Army, 1954, and we had 4 Little League teams. And I went up into Pony League, got into Pony League, and said, let's have another one. And then when we got to Colt League, I always remember the Colt League. We had 2 Colt League teams, and we played Spanish Fork, and played Payson and Springville to get in their leagues. We didn't have enough. And the coach come up to me one day and says, we can't have that many teams, they need to play. And I always told the coach, hey, this program down here is to get kids interested in baseball get them playing baseball, get them off the streets, and have them interested in baseball, and that's what the program is all about.
Beautiful, and that's why you stayed in it as long as you did?
Right.
Well, I just want to tell people that this guy right here, Jerry Dunn, one of the best. And
It's a heck of a compliment coming from you, Goose.
and we appreciate all your service down here. And we'll go to our next guest. Jerry's got to get home with his wife, and so we appreciate the time you come down here with us today.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, man. We love you.
Thank you very much.
Honor having you on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, our next guest is Bob Hunter here. Spent a lot of time down here umping and coaching. Bob, I've been asking the guys their favorite major league player, or one of them. Who's one of your favorite major league players?
Well, I think Stan Musial.
And he played for the Cardinals.
Yep.
And why was he one of your favorites?
He was just one of the greatest ball players there's ever been, I think.
He could do it all?
He could do it all.
Do it all. All right, and then I've been asking our guests one of their favorite memories of being down here at the Spanish Fork Ballpark.
Chasing you.
Chasing me? What do you mean, chasing me?
Oh, I used to chase you all over.
Oh, you did? Why's that?
See, Bryce, the truth comes out.
Yeah.
He's a good man, I think, and he was a good ball player. And we always liked to see him play ball. And he was just one of the greatest.
Wow.
And like they said over here a while ago, he's probably been one of the best ball players in this town.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that, those kind words, and I'm going to give you some back. I'm going to pay it forward to you. Hey, we appreciate all the service that you rendered down here, umpiring and coaching, spectator, watching your kids and grandkids, and I know you didn't get paid a lot of those hours that you spent down here, but I'm going to tell you right now, Spanish Fork City appreciates all you done. We love you, Bob Hunter.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It doesn't cost anything to hand out a kind word, does it, Bryce?
Nope. It's gonna cost me a little bit though, because now I gotta give you respect that I haven't been giving you.
Oh.
But I can do that.
So, another little time to teach here. You young kids, don't hesitate to tell your coach how much you appreciate and love what they do for you, man, because we make nothing down here. They make nothing. So, take a second or two and tell your coach how much you love him. Okay, Dan, what was you telling me when you walked in the dugout here?
I feel a lot better if you'd get behind me out in center field.
Oh, we played a lot of fast pitch, didn't we?
I'll say
You were
we
the
did.
pitcher back then, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and he was a dandy.
yeah.
Hey, I've been asking our guests today one of their favorite major league players and why.
Well, I'd have to go with Pete Rose
Oh,
Interesting.
on account of his hitting, and he never done everything up to Hoyle, but he was always had his heart in the ball game.
I like that.
okay, so you can forgive him for some of his
Oh yeah,
unethical things like
Yep.
gambling and like that?
yeah.
Okay, do you think he ought to be in the Hall of Fame?
I do.
Goose, for what it's worth, and I'm not a baseball guy like you guys, but I truly do too as well. I think he earned that slot in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He worked.
He's the #1 hit man, right?
Yes, he was in my book.
Oh, and his nickname was what?
Pete.
Duh. They called him Charlie Hustle. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I did not know this.
Oh,
Interesting
and if
point.
you want to emulate anybody on their hustle skills, Pete Rose.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, and I've been asking our guests one of their favorite baseball memories down here at the local ballpark.
Well, I got a memory, but I'm not saying it's a faithful. The first UBBA tournament I got in coaching the Braves.
Okay, let's take a look.
This was the year we took third. But that kid right there, best pitcher in Spanish Fork, And after I got beat out of the tournament, I still had him, the best pitcher in Spanish Fork, and he didn't have one out assigned to him.
Was that the Evans kid?
That was the Evans kid.
What's his first name? Kurt Evans.
Nice.
Okay, there's a shout out to the Evanses.
I saved him for the tougher games and lost the first one.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
And had to go into
I learned an awful lot.
I learned that too. You don't save. You
Nope.
don't save, do you?
I've heard you say that before, Goose.
No, you don't save.
You play each game as they come along.
Exactly.
And then after Little League, I went through Pony League. And there's the winning team for the Pony Leaguers. I don't remember all these kids, but they've all grewed up.
Got families of their own.
Got families of their own. And then I went from Pony League into a American Legion ball. And we done a lot of traveling around the state with American Legion.
Well, right now, Bud, right now we're going to give you a warm shout out.
Would it be a warm and fuzzy shout out, Goose?
Yep, Spanish Fork
Warm
City
and fuzzy shout out.
and the community wants to thank you for all your service, man.
Well, thank you.
And a great big, we love you.
Thank you. You didn't back then.
I know. You know, that's how things change. You get a little more mellow, right?
Yep.
Yep, we appreciate Dan DeGraw, Bryce.
Dan DeGraw.
Okay, Bryce, our next guest is Rod Dart. He's the class of 65.
That's right.
You're older than the Goose Man here. And I've been asking our guests, they're one of their favorite major league players. And why?
Well, you may not believe this, but I grew up in the era of Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. But my favorite player was Eddie Matthews.
Ooh, Milwaukee Braves.
Milwaukee Braves third baseman. I've been a Braves fan since I can remember.
And why was Matthews one of your favorites?
Because he was a home run hitter. And I can remember as a boy going over to Roe Harrison's neighborhood grocery store and sitting up on the old water cooler and having a knee-high grape or a Dr. Pepper.
Knee-high, yeah.
There's a memory.
And Roe was a big Yankee fan, Mickey Mantle. So every day we'd go over and we'd argue Yankees-Braves. He would say, well, I saw that Eddie Matthews fell into another one last time. I said, yep, he did.
Now, Goose, didn't Rod donate this picture you have me here with?
Yes, he did.
Well, let me tell you about this.
Can you tell us about this?
This picture was actually given to me by Don Andrews. His mother had it.
Ooh, Verona spent a lot of time down here. Let's give her a warm shout out.
Yeah.
Verona Andrews in the Snack Jack.
Yeah. Now, as I look at this picture, I think it was taken around 1960, because when I started playing on the Kiwanis field, it was in 1958, and this picture shows a chain link fence. But when
That's right, right there.
Yeah, right there. When I started playing, there was an old wooden snow fence around this field.
And it didn't stand upright, did it?
No.
Kind of laid down?
Sometimes it did, yeah. But I figure this about 1960.
All right, and I would have been, I'd have been 12 years old.
1960 was a great year because that's the year I was born.
Ooh, wow.
I actually played in the first official game on this Kiwanis field. I can remember we started playing on the Big Diamond, and then they had a Little League field over there where the softball field is, over there to the east of the Big Diamond. And then they made that into a Pony League field,
right.
And they made this field. I can remember they would rake this field, drag the field, and then they'd send all us players out on the field to pick up all the rocks.
All the rocks, yep, I remember that too.
So Rod, did you say you've played on the very first game on this field then?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yep.
There's some history.
Ooh, does that bring back some memories, guys? Is that one of your favorite memories?
That is. I can remember after we'd played on those other fields, what a treat it was to actually have an official Little League field.
Nice.
Okay, so what do you want to tell today's young players that have the privilege of playing down here?
Well,
look right in the camera.
Listen up, youngsters.
I would say respect your coaches, practice hard, and have some fun. I spent a lot of time down here myself when I was a kid, and I had 5 boys who we practically live down here. And in fact, one of my boys, the youngest, Nick, said to me the other day, he says, you know, when I think back of my youth, he says, those were some fun times. And they were for me too.
Great advice.
Yep.
So you're saying, above all, the kids better be having some fun down here.
Exactly, yep.
Ooh, that's some good advice from one of our veteran coaches. Hey man, warm shout out to Rod Dart.
Thank you. Appreciate you, George.
We love you.
Let me take that for you.
Appreciate all you did.
Well, it's big. Baseball's always been a big part of my life.
Leon C.L. Abbott, one of the pioneers of Spanish Fork baseball. I've been asking all our guests, Guy, who's one of your favorite major league players and why?
Well, probably Mantle. When I was young, he was young, and he played a lot of years, and he was a great player, Hall of Famer.
So
Yogi Berra was
okay, Mickey Mantle and Yogi?
Yeah.
It's not over till it's over?
Not over till it's over.
Okay, and then I've been asking our guests one of their favorite memories at the Spanish Fork ballpark. What would that be for Leon Abbott?
You don't want to hear it. It was beating you in the championship game of UBBA.
Is that the deal? I remember that.
I'd like to hear it.
Is that when you had Dennis Gabbitas?
I had Dennis Gabbitas and Dennis Johnson.
And Dennis Johnson.
And they're two younger brothers.
Okay. Jay Gabbitas.
Jay and Daryl Johnson.
And Daryl, yep. Ooh, and that's one of your favorite memories.
Right here, yeah.
Right here on the...
But I also remember helping start the Utah Baseball for Boys Association.
Was that 1959?
Yeah, that was 59. We met over in the Provo courthouse at 29th of December of 59, and we organized it. Bud Hoffman won the first championship. Guess what?
And what?
I won the second.
Oh, the second?
I won the second.
Wow, it all started then.
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
And then Bud won the third.
And then he won the third?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Did you ever have a guy by the name of Rod Dart on your team?
I sure did, and he was captain of the team when he was 12 years old, and in one game here, he set a record that no major league ball player can ever beat.
You gotta be kidding me. What was that?
He retired the side with 3 pitches.
3 pitches.
They all bounced out to Ray Aiken at shortstop, and so did Denny Gabbitas here at first base.
Oh, I remember Ray Aiken. You bet. Dandy shortstop.
Rod's got a record nobody will ever beat.
That's cool. You know what? You mentioned...
He's grown up to be just that fine a man.
That's more important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, you know what? We want to do something for you right now. We want to give you a warm shout out for all the time and effort that you spent down here serving Spanish Fork baseball. You know what? We love you.
Well,
don't we, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's what we wanted to do, Bryce. We wanted to do a show on the early pioneers here in baseball capital of the what? The world? Right here in Spanish Fork, Utah. Thank you. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you for doing what you're doing, Joe.
Join us next time for part 2 of Legends of Spanish Fork Baseball.
You know what, Rob? I thought we'd close the show, Bryce.
I thought we did too.
I wanted to.
You know what? But I can't come to the baseball park and not hit at least one baseball.
Oh, man.
But why do I have to be here?
Well, I gotta have somebody throw me a pitch.
Oh, here's your chance to get even.
You're taking your life in your own hands with this one. All right.
Holy smoke. You can lob one in, can't you?
Maybe girly.
Oh, like a girly?
I shouldn't say girly because I've seen some of the girls.
Oh, I've seen some girls. I got some, my daughters throw pretty darn good.
Okay, now how would I hold that again, Goose? You were showing me on the horseshoe.
This is a 2-seamer.
Okay.
Right there, and then you find the horseshoe. right there, and it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 as it rotates. That's a 4-seamer.
So I want to go across like that.
Uh-huh.
Just throw the ball.
I don't think you should get me.
Okay, back up further.
I'm telling you, Goose, I can't throw a ball.
Okay.
Bryce, I'm telling
You gotta get it close to the plate. He'll take care of the rest.
Will Goose hit it out of the park? Can Rob even throw across the plate? Will Bryce finally show his face on camera? Find out when we continue our visit with some of Spanish Fork's baseball legends. Join us next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.